Alrighty, now we're going to start doing inequalities. And so I know that this is going to be the little videos are going to be short. So let's get to it. First thing I want to let you know is that a parentheses means that the endpoint is not included. So let me see if I can draw a parentheses. So a parentheses means that the endpoint not included. And a bracket means that the endpoint is included. All right, so real quickly, we're going to go through how to write all these different interval notations. Now, I want you to notice something. I do not put little tick marks. So when you give a graph to me, I do not want little tick marks. We are past the day of tick marks. Okay? So let's get going. And I'm going to kind of go quickly through these because you should be familiar with most of these. So this is the interval notation. So this is interval notation. All right, and this is how you graph it. So you're going to have A to B, where this is A and this is B. If I include A, so A and B, then it's going to look like this. And the squiggle is the region that it is. If I do not include A, but I include B, then it should look like this. If I include both A and B, then it should look like this. If I go from A to negative infinity, then I should look like this. If I go from negative infinity to A, but I'm including A, then I should look like this. I'm going to scroll up so I can see the rest of them. All right. If I have B to infinity, then I should look like this. And if I include B and I go to infinity, I should look like this. And negative infinity to infinity should be the whole line done. Now, a union means that I'm going to include both sections. So, and I'm going to do this kind of in a Venn diagram. So a union would be both this region and this region. And an intersection would be the middle part. Okay? So where I talk about a union, I'm talking about both regions. For union, I'm talking about both regions. And when I talk about intersection, I'm talking about the overlap. All right? Zeros of a polynomial are where they equal to 0. This is where they hit the x-axis. So they hit the x-axis. All right? Linear inequalities are inequalities where the highest exponent is 1. So the highest exponent is 1. Okay? And we can also have polynomial inequalities where we have exponents that are higher than 1. We can have rational inequalities where we have fraction exponents, where we have fraction inequalities, and absolute value inequalities, where we have absolute values that are inequalities. And we're going to solve all four of those types of equations. Okay, so let's get to solving. or what I'm going to do first is I'm going to show you how to graph these and write these in interval notation, or I'm going to show you how to graph the third one, go from interval notation to a graph. So first, let's graph this, and then I want to write it in interval notation. So here is -2, and here is 4. Okay, now the first thing I do for this one is I'm going to rewrite it. So I have 4 is less than x. So what I'm talking about is this region, and I'm talking about this region. And the and means that I want both of these statements to be true. So I want both to be true. So that means I want the overlap. So I want both statements to be true. So I want x to be less than 4, and I want it to be less than or equal to -2. So the only place where both of those is true is in this region. So my answer to this would be -infinity to -2 to here. So this right here is my final answer. And if you need to, write the -infinity there. All right. For this one, what I'm talking about is I'm really wanting this to be an or. This really should have been an or, because I'm wanting it to be x is, no it's not, sorry. I want x to be greater than or equal to 0, and I want x to be less than or equal to 6. So what I'm wanting is that I want it to be in here. So I want it to be here and here. So where I'm wanting it to be is between 0 and 6. So this is my answer. Okay. So if I want to look at the graph of this one, it really is as easy as it looks. Here's -3, here's 3, and here's 9. Notice, I didn't put any tick marks. I'm just putting in my parentheses and my bracket, and then I just squiggle where it is. As long as I put them, if I put 3 down here, if I put 3 and said 3's down here, and then I put -3, then I'd have an issue with it. Okay? As long as you put it where it goes on the number line, I'm fine with it. I don't care that you, as long as you put -3 is less than 3, you don't have to put 0 in there. Okay? I don't care about scale. I don't care about any of that. Okay? I'm assuming you can all do that. All right? Now, let's show how to solve and write in interval notation a linear equation, a linear inequality. First thing we're going to do is we are going to distribute the 3. So we have 3t plus 3 is greater than 2t. Now I like to keep things positive, so I'm going to move this to this side. So I have t plus 3 is greater than 0. Now I'm going to move the 3 over. So I have t is greater than -3. I like to keep it in order, so it's really -3 is less than t. So when I graph this, I have -3 here, and what I'm talking about is t is greater, so it's out here. So in interval notation, it's -3 to infinity. And there I go. If you have any questions, please email me. Thank you.